As NCIS, Sydney gears up for its second season, there are several key elements to keep in mind. This spin-off of the NCIS franchise is the first to expand internationally, blending the American Naval Criminal Investigative Service with the Australian Federal Police. Season 1 introduced dynamic characters like Mackie, JD, and Evie, whose complex pasts and evolving relationships made the series stand out. Key storylines include Evie's secret history as an undercover narcotics officer, Blue becoming a permanent team member, Mackie's tragic past in the Marines, and the slow-burn romance between Evie and Deshawn. Season 2 promises to further explore these intriguing developments. 8 things to remember before NCIS, Sydney Season 2. With NCIS, Sydney Season 2 closer than ever before, there are a few things to remember before it returns for its sophomore year. As an NCIS spin-off, NCIS, Sydney is the first show in the NCIS universe to expand beyond America. The procedural puts a unique spin on the franchise by combining the American Naval Criminal Investigative Service with the Australian Federal Police in a unique NCIS/AFP task force that supports the American military base in Australia. The international offshoot has typically followed the structured format of NCIS episodes featuring a new case every episode, but there have been a few twists. Besides the unique location, NCIS, Sydney has also introduced an interesting partnership between two vastly different characters, Mackie and JD, the leaders of NCIS and AFP respectively. NCIS, Sydney's characters bring life to the series and separate it from its predecessors. Even with just 8 episodes, Season 1 featured a riveting amount of plot developments, making NCIS, Sydney Season 2 something to look forward to. For Evie has a past as an undercover narcotics officer. Evie's past makes her a complex character. Evie's past was the central focus in NCIS, Sydney Episode 6, Extraction. When Evie recognized a deceased man wearing a U.S. Navy jacket, she knew that her old partner from her days as an undercover narcotics officer would need help. She slipped away from the NCIS/AFP team to return to her old cover, hoping to keep her involvement a secret. Unfortunately for Evie, Deshawn became suspicious of her behavior and ended up telling what he knew to Mackie and JD when he started to fear for her life. In the end, all was well again, but the episode did give a close look into Evie's former career. While Evie's past life only appeared briefly in NCIS, Sydney Season 1, Evie's intimate knowledge of narcotics and dealing could come in handy in Season 2 if there is a similar case in another episode. Her experience working undercover also makes her an excellent candidate for future undercover work. 3. Blue is finally a permanent member of the NCIS, Sydney team. Her bubbly personality contrasts some of the more reserved team members. NCIS, Sydney started with the implication that Maverney Hazel's Bluebird Blue Gleason would only be a recurring character in the show. However, Blue was brought in as a permanent member of the NCIS/AFP team in Episode 3. The group surprised her with a cake and a small party to celebrate her promotion in a heartwarming gesture. Blue is a highly intelligent forensic scientist who works under the watchful eye of Roy. However, she is very insecure and highly anxious, which sometimes hinders her ability to think clearly. Her quirky personality has also been poorly received by some of the more reserved members of the team, like Roy and Mackie. As a result, it took some time for the team to warm up to her. However, by the end of NCIS, Sydney Season 1, Blue became as much a member of the family as anyone else on the team. 2. Mackie has a tragic past related to her time in the Marines. Mackie keeps herself guarded to protect herself. The most mysterious character on NCIS, Sydney by far is Olivia Swan's Michelle Mackie. She has revealed the least about her, and it is clear that she keeps her emotions close to her. Tough but loyal, Mackie is an excellent team leader, albeit a bit private. The closest she has ever come to revealing information about her family life is when JD revealed his son and marital troubles to her. When prompted about her own family, Mackie just said she did not have time for one. Her guard keeps her safe, which means it is hard for her to open up to others for fear of getting hurt. However, Mackie did reveal a closer look into her personal history in NCIS, Sydney Episode 4. While interrogating a suspect, Mackie revealed that when she was deployed, she disobeyed in order to save some soldiers, which resulted in her colleagues getting killed instead. Swan revealed that Mackie kept her past a secret in NCIS, Sydney, to protect herself. Her guard keeps her safe, which means it is hard for her to open up to others for fear of getting hurt. 1 Evie and Deshawn have a budding romance. The couple has not admitted their feelings yet. Perhaps the most exciting part of NCIS, Sydney Season 1 was Evie and Deshawn's budding romance. While JD and Mackie needed some time to warm up to each other, Tully Narkle's Evie Cooper and Sean Sauger's Deshawn Jackson quickly became friends after being introduced in the NCIS Sydney pilot. However, their quick banter and friendly conversations seem to imply that there is something more between them. As NCIS/AFP partners, they work great together and have had excellent chemistry with each other. And while they have not shared a romantic moment yet, they have had a few non-platonic incidents. Evie's decision to exclusively record something for Deshawn hints at something special between them. In NCIS, Sydney Episode 7, when Evie was running out of oxygen and thought she was about to die, she recorded a voice note for Deshawn to hear. The voice note by itself would not mean anything particular had she made one for several people in her life. However, Evie's decision to exclusively record something for Deshawn hints at something special between them. Later, after Deshawn and JD managed to save Evie and the others on time, Evie hesitated about showing Deshawn the recording and ultimately decided to delete it. Evie's hesitation could be nerves about whether Deshawn feels the same way, or it could represent her worries about ruining her friendship with him. It could also be the result of the instability of the NCIS and AFP Joint Task Force. Whatever the case, Evie and Deshawn's relationship seems to be building towards the slow burn trope, which could make NCIS Sydney even more exciting.